Welcome back to the FTL Masters Edition tournament. Joining me here is the one, the only Goblin Juggler. What's up, Gabo?
Not much. Glad to be back casting. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. My run went how expected, so we're all good.
Hey, you got yourself a win, and at least in the run, and we got to watch Retreat do some magic again, which was fun to watch. So
doing retreat things, but joining us as our guest is Puffiest Leroy McBillington III, aka Kix, which I'm assuming most people probably know you by Kix. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Glad to have you. Now you're the lead multiverse dev, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm the one who got it rolling. I do most of the actual code behind it, but there's a very large team that develops the mod.
Cool. I see that it started out of Project Coalition. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, Project Coalition was a mod developed by Stormbringer and I back in 2017, and to say it was a total train wreck would be completely overselling it. It was unplayable through all stages. Obviously, I think it's some testament to how I've improved. We've all improved. A good portion of the multiverse team comes from Project Coalition. It was originally going to be kind of like a farewell to the FTL community, put all of our assets together, and then put it out and then leave. But obviously it turned into something much more.
Right.
How do you feel about giving us a quick overview of what we can expect to find in Multiverse?
Multiverse basically touches every part of the game. The most notable thing is that it uses hyperspace, which means there's a bunch of new player ships and crew. Currently, in the latest version, there's 171 new player ships, and all of them have unlock quests, so you can unlock them all from scratch, just like in vanilla. The new crew types cover all kinds of different things. There's a Suicide Zoltan who can blow up on command. There's leeches which drain power from the systems they're in. There's all kinds of stuff.
Got it. Sounds excellent. Are there new achievements and unlockables?
Currently, those aren't actually possible for achievements, but there are a bunch of new ships that you can unlock. So you can play it from scratch with one ship, just like in vanilla, and then you have to unlock your whole arsenal of ships.
Excellent. Sounds like a fun mod to me, and I think we'll dig in more to the specifics of that as we get going into the run, but I think it's about time that we bring on our contestants for this run. Why don't we start with getting them revealed. There's Holo. Hey, Holo, how are you doing?
Hello. All fine.
Good. How are you feeling about the run?
As usual.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just normal business, huh?
Don't expect much, so nothing bad happens.
There you go. And Holo's opponent today will be Racka. How you doing today, Racka?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm pretty sure that if I can just win a run, I'll be happy.
Sure. I know that feeling. That's what I was going for last run.
Yeah.
Tear.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else either of you would like to put in before we move over towards picks and bans? Thoughts and feelings?
Good luck. Don't die. This should be
Like
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's move towards the picks and bans phase here, and I'll go ahead and give my pick first. I have chosen the Fed B.
And then I picked Slug A.
I have picked Slug B.
And then Holo has the choice if he wants to pick first, pick your band first, or give that over to Racka to ban first.
Racka can ban first.
Okay.
All right, Racka.
Let's ban Fed B.
Get it out of here.
And then which ship you banning, Holo?
Let's ban Slug B.
All right.
Gonna be Slug A. Any comments on Slug A, Holo?
It's a good ship. Relies on bio kills early on, so we'll see.
About the same
Should be
thoughts from you,
a-
Racka?
Horribly underrated. This ship is good. Don't sleep on it.
Excellent. Well, good luck to both of you. I'm looking forward to this run, and hopefully everything will run smoothly for you. I'll go ahead and read off the seed here for anybody that wants to play along on their own setup. The seed they'll be playing is 179-43885. And
You
we
can
will get...
give the I was gonna say you can give the countdown, Gabo.
All right. Looking towards both of my players. They both appear to be ready. Seeing them moving around. I see one hovering over the start button. So Holo's mouse is moving. I'm going to give it a 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck. All right. So let's do just a
Good luck.
quick overview of this ship. What do you think about this as a Sector 1 ship, Farb?
I think in normal situations it's very, very strong, like Racka was alluding to. You can kind of get baited by using the bio beam too early, but once you get safe in the fight, you turn on the dual laser, or I guess you keep the dual laser on and you turn the bio beam on, and any ship that has crew is crew killable. Which again, under normal circumstances, is so valuable, right? Like that's pretty much how you stay ahead of the curve and on hard mode in a lot of your runs. So I think early game this ship is like super strong. So
Yeah, and you think they'll be going for the crew kills using the bio beam, taking a little bit of extra time to just get their early game locked up?
I do, and it actually might be faster if you can do it in 2 bio swipes.
Ooh, there's an early NG
It's-
right off the bat. That's nice.
Yeah, it's tough to tell, right? Because you got, you can, once you are safe, you could go after shields, and then you're doing 2 damage every 10 seconds versus, the bio beam is I think 17 seconds unmanned, but both players actually have weapons manned here, which I do as well. I think that's the best thing to do. Yeah.
Makes
But-
sense. Makes sense. What about you, Kix? What's your experience with playing sort of more vanilla side of things? Do you have a lot of experience on Slug A?
I haven't actually touched vanilla in a long time. Slug A, it's just pretty standard to me. I've never actually been very good at the bio beam build, but it's definitely viable. I think the biggest thing is just how rare it is, and just any ship that starts with a rare thing's cool. Even
Yeah, I agree. It kind of lends itself to a different play style, which is always nice.
So I've seen Racka missing a couple bio beam swipes here right off the bat, which is I think telling me there's a little bit of nerves going on there. There's another whiff as crew moves out of the way, because I think from what I've seen of Racka, it looks like very experienced player. So a little bit of a
Yeah,
struggle
he
there.
is.
So Kix, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the balancing that you've done for Multiverse. So I know that some of the vanilla weapons have been rebalanced and you've added a bunch more. How did you go about the balancing process for weapons? Did you use math to do it? Was it feeling based? What was your approach to balancing?
usually I compare them stat-wise to existing weapons. My general theory is that there shouldn't be a bunch of bad weapons. Like vanilla has, hold missile and chain ion. I don't really like that. I think it pollutes stores. It kind of adds that whole luck element that counteracts skill. So I think weapons should have a very defined purpose, but they should all be usable and good. So
So for something like the chain ion, how do you take the chain ion from its vanilla state and make it viable?
well, I decreased the power, and actually, it got a balance pretty recently. One thing I considered was making it go faster rather than do more damage, because it just takes too long to stack. So it's really about the self-stacking, and you want to make sure that it can self-stack quicker, because that's what hurts it the most.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just to go back to the game for a second here, watching Racka really struggle to get through that med bay. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it's still the same ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might have to destroy it.
Yeah, I think he's given up on the bio kill here and just gonna
He
take
could
it
do
out.
the deep power trick to only fire one laser.
Yeah, the thing was he was struggling with the med bay.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't keep it down after swiping, so they were just healing, and then he was swiping again. And they're back at full health, but
Yeah. Racka catching FTL trying to pull its tricks of getting him stuck into jumps early on, too. Racka looked at it and said, "Not today, FTL. No. Not today. That's not what we're doing." Meanwhile, Holo is just cruising along. Want some missiles? Let's see. So there's some new weapons and drones and augments available. Do you want to give us a little bit about what sorts of weapons are available over on Multiverse Kicks?
There's some new main weapon types, like particle weapons, which are focused mostly towards system damage, or energy guns, which do both ion and hull, but they don't damage systems, so you kind of trade that. There's a lot of just more variants, but mostly I didn't go for adding a bunch of new weapons, rather than just adding weapons I felt like they should exist. Because, like, a lot of mods just add a bunch of missiles, but, like, it gets boring to see like a 3-shot missile and then a 5-shot missile. So
Yeah. Got it. What's your favorite weapon that you've added?
that's a good question. Well, there's a beam that drops from a certain boss called the battery beam, which it's pretty weak on its own, but its unique thing is that it provides 2 extra power to the other weapon to the right of it in your weapon hotbar, which actually lets you exceed maximum weapon power. So you trade a slot so you can power like 2. There's some 5 power weapons. Like you can power 2 5 power weapons at once if you have a battery beam.
Nice. That's cool.
So you said a specific boss. That means that there's more bosses added, or what exactly?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of new bosses that you can encounter. Most of them are optional. You don't have to fight them, but they almost always drop very strong, unique equipment, which I think is something vanilla lacks. Like the bio beam is the really only weapon that feels like it has a vent dedicated to it, though it can also appear in stores. So.
Sure.
Got it.
I just want to point out Racka got his bio beam online, so he got the extra weapon up. Still on 1 shield as well. Holo's got his 2 shields.
Interesting. Holo grabbing a little bit more defense. I usually go Holo's build route over getting the full set of weapons on early. I usually just go with swapping to the bio beam once it makes sense. But I kind of like the way Racka's approaching it for the tournament setting. Like, it's going to speed him up a bit.
I think that's probably the thought process behind it, right? Especially after that med-based ship.
Yeah,
He has the bio beam online for that. It's the fight's over. But.
Yep, it's just easy. So he's going to be cruising. Holo's going to be able to save a little scrap on not taking quite as much damage. So still pretty close. Both of them going to be looking for another weapon in the near future here. Because strong sector 1 through 2 here, but once you hit sector 3, that dual laser is not enough on its own. You're going to run out of missiles real quick.
Yeah, you basically just need any other projectile weapon.
Yeah.
Like, it's as simple as that.
Yep. And like, hacking is great and all, but when you only have 2 projectiles to deal damage with, hacking like only goes so far.
Exactly. And I think Slug A doesn't start with any drone parts, if I'm thinking right. It's either that or very, very low. But
yeah, I think it's
they only
0.
have 3 and 4, but yeah.
So let's dig into some of the augments that you have available in Multiverse. Can you find those on some of these hidden boss fights, or are those exclusively in stores?
We've taken a kind of a different approach to augments than vanilla. Most of them don't appear in stores anymore. Instead, on your ship, you can install them as like internal upgrades. They don't take an augment slot, and you can get them anytime you want. Because like a lot of builds, rely on, for instance, like explosive replicator to make missiles more viable, or defense scrambler because the hacking exploit's fixed. So you can install those at any time, but some of them come with trade-offs. Like you can't install cloaking level 3 and stealth weapons at the same time. So you have to kind of choose between which build you want.
Okay. So when you say install them anytime, do you mean you like start with the ability to grab any augment that you want and then you can just install it, or do you have to be at a store or something?
So there's a new mechanic. The empty beacons in vanilla and have a purpose. And a lot of events, if you choose not to interact with them, you also get a storage check. And at storage checks, this is when you can install internal augments. And there's a lot of other things you can do at storage checks. Like now there's like a new crew upgrading system, so you can like specialize your crew to different functions.
Nice.
Yeah, I know that just from actually watching Holo play Multiverse, I know he's been diving deep into that. I know you can get like the drone arm from. I feel like you have to give up drone, like actual drone parts to get the drone arm or something. I kind of forget, but
Yeah, it costs a couple drone parts, but it's mostly a scrap price.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so I think that is pretty. Like I think that's a pretty cool, kind of subtle change. Like I guess is it subtle? I don't know. Just like
It's a
that
pretty
change
big
is
feature
really
that a lot of people
interesting.
forget about. So.
Sure.
I was just watching Holo there doing the cancel of the dual laser to get a single bullet out and use the biobeam to grab a kill. Just
Sure.
kind of fun to watch that go off. Nice little trick.
The other thing I was gonna ask you, Kix, am I correct in thinking that hyperspace multiverse, that opened up the ability to hard code FTL, right? Is that
Yeah, we jumped on the hyperspace train pretty early. We're the first overhaul to take full advantage of hyperspace, and we've been working so close together, a lot of people get the names confused. I've seen a lot of hyperverses and multispace, so
That's funny. I actually thought it was like one and the same, so there's that too. I
yeah, a
didn't know
lot of
that it
people
was
make that mistake.
yeah. Well, I guess I knew that hyperspace is like supposed to be like a modding platform. So I guess I just didn't really think about it.
Yeah, what they're doing over there is pretty incredible. There's been a couple hard-coded mods, but none of them have been an API like hyperspace, so it's like their own like singularity, and those have all failed. They didn't go very far, so.
Gotcha.
Got it. Farb, did you see what Sector 2 Holo took? Racka went to civilian. I'm wondering if they diverged there, and I missed it.
I did not.
Okay.
I'm assuming Holo took Civ though. I can't imagine Holo taking anything other or over Civ.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Makes sense.
What was? Oh, you didn't catch the other sector available?
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I just saw that
I
Racka
didn't
was
either.
into civilian, but didn't see what the other option was, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
That's all right. Thought I'd check and see if you had noticed.
Sure.
So tell me about the traveling merchant, Kix. What is the traveling merchant exactly?
Well, obviously I have an affinity for him. My little icon in the stream is the traveling merchant.
Okay.
He's a new mechanic. He pops up randomly, and he lets you sell resources to him for scrap, because you generally make a lot of extra resources, so it's like, why hold on to these like 40 missiles? But the main thing is he has various types of trades where he opens up a store menu, so there's like 6 different weapons at once. So like he'll sell 6 different lasers at the same time, but you can only buy 2. So you have to kind of pick.
Okay.
So is the idea behind the offering 6 just like a way to lower variance throughout the run, or I guess what was
Yeah,
the?
it's just to make equipment more viable, so you don't die early on. He always appears in Sector 1 and Sector 8, and other than that, it's kind of random. So
That's interesting.
a big focus is kind of just cutting back on a lot of the like randomness to make things more consistent, which some people like, some people don't, but I think it's an important thing. So.
Well, it definitely offers a different experience than vanilla FTL. So you know, that's a very nice thing to achieve. I know, like I've played a few mods, and like they are very good, but it can be very hard to put anything together because there's just not a lot of consistency, and there's, you know, a lot of weapons and stuff. But it sounds like you guys had the opposite of that in mind, right? Like you wanted things to flow,
Yeah.
you wanted options to work together, and you know, give the player a lot more to work with than standard FTL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's advantages to more randomness and advantage to more predictability, right? It just depends on the kind of experience you want. I like games that are very random, and I like games that are very predictable, just depending
Very
on
true.
what
Yeah,
sort
the
I'm after.
randomness adds to the replayability. So since we don't have that, in turn, we've just added so much content that like every run's a new run.
Right.
There's
I mean,
60 something sectors and all that. So
jeez. And you said like 140 ships or something like that too?
171 player ships.
70. Yeah, that's a lot of ships, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the availability to make new crew types helps make them not so repetitive. Because
Sure,
otherwise you'd start
makes
to
sense.
infringe on existing ideas.
Right.
So for me, with all of that available content, so much of it being there, 170 odd ships and so many new races and weapons, for me, that's like almost a little intimidating to try and jump into. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to start playing multiverse? Like, what would be your approach to getting into the game?
It's definitely a bit overwhelming. I think the main thing is that you kind of have to abandon the mindset of vanilla because we've kind of just changed the meta entirely. So a lot of people kind of get confused or tricked up because they expect things to go like how they do in vanilla. It's actually the newer the player is to FTL, the better they tend to experience multiverse because the less hard-coded their philosophies are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely been a thing, talking about mods, you know, like while I'm streaming and stuff. You know, there's definitely people that want a similar experience to vanilla, but they play a mod and it's completely different. So it's just like, well, this isn't what I wanted. I don't like it, right? So it's like I think your mindset going into it is pretty important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, mods aren't for everyone, but they're a good way to keep the game alive.
Did Racka just buy MC over hacking?
No, I think hacking had been MC had been bought in an earlier store. Racka just picked up a pike beam over hacking, which I was just going to comment on. But yeah, I think the MC
Gotcha,
came
okay.
a store earlier. Nice to have that pike beam though.
Out. Yeah, it's great because he was going into Sector 3 with starting weapons.
Yeah. Also, Racka's sort of zoomed ahead after that slightly slow start. Racka's towards the end of Sector 2, and Holo's about midway through it. So that's kind of interesting. I wanted to ask you, Farb, I've been seeing both of them do something, which is using the anti-bio beam and swiping it across drone ships. Are they just doing it to do it, or did I miss something in my FTL training?
They're probably doing it to get training for the weapons guy.
Okay, just doing weapons training, so just firing it for the extra. Okay, cool. I was like, is there some like hidden technology that I've been unaware of for my 1,500 some hours of this game?
No, I think it's just training. So
got it. That makes sense. I was gonna be mad if I had missed something like that.
So Sector 3, we got Mantis controlled and Rebel controlled, and Racka went Rebel.
So Rebel, is that to get more fights? Because usually Mantis seems like a strong play there to me.
Yeah, it could be. They both have the same amount of stores available. It's 1 to 2 stores in each sector. The other thing too is, well, I guess in Rebel sectors you get boarded a lot too, but anytime you fight a Mantis ship, well, I guess not anytime, but most of the time you fight a Mantis ship, you're gonna get boarded.
Mm-hmm.
That can draw fights out. I don't know how long in the early sector, but
yeah.
Yeah, I would probably think that Rebel is more scrap than Mantis on average. One thing too is Mantis doesn't. I feel like Mantis doesn't have a lot of events that have double rewards. Rebel, you're gonna get like outpost and aid the civilian and stuff. I think I know the outposts are there, but that double rewards one jump in this format is huge, right?
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. Since I was playing a lot, the meta of sector selection has changed actually quite a bit from what I was used to a couple years ago. I feel like there's a lot of differing decisions going, and some of them seem to be related to this format, but others of them seem to be that just the meta and knowledge about different sectors has changed.
Racka's in a nasty pulsar, but I think like getting into the Mantis thing a little more in a standard run, your Mantis ships are gonna probably be a little easier to deal with.
Mantis ships had a lot of missiles, which is a big thing.
Yeah, that's true. But they only always have like their only extra system they get is only ever the teleporter. Right. So, and I feel like they build into that a little bit more than other types of ships. So you kind of get like, heavy on boarding, but not necessarily too bad of weapons to fight against. But I don't know.
Yeah, it seems more common to see like a couple lasers and maybe a Lido on a Mantis ship, as opposed to the Rebel ships are going to more commonly probably have a burst laser too somewhere mixed into that.
Speaking of burst laser,
that's a burst laser one.
Burst laser 1, yeah. I'm a fan. He's he needs the projectiles, no hacking. He can build into it fairly quickly here.
So Holo just went for a sale on the missiles there, which I find very interesting without having a weapon locked into bust shields with and approaching Sector 3. Holo just sold 10 missiles to go down to 2. That seems really all-in-y for a store.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. At the same time, he's kind of, exactly. He's trying to hit a home run at the store.
It's like totally fair, but scary.
It's true. He's got his faith in FTL.
Yeah,
I mean, we know he's gonna go into a store that has that pike beam, right?
Yes,
but he doesn't.
It's an easy decision with our knowledge to say yes, that was right. But Racka got that event and said no to selling the missiles, and just got another missile event, even with a burst laser and a dual laser and the pike available. Only sold 5 missiles instead of the 10 that Holo went with basically nothing. So pretty bold move, but makes sense in the format. Again, I think it's like, you're going all in, trying to be fast, and you just count on the store being there. Hope FTL has your back.
Right.
I wouldn't put my faith in FTL.
Me either, man. That's it's a hard thing to, you're sitting in a store looking to buy something, and you're like, oh, I'll get it later. I don't trust FTL enough to not buy what's ever at that store.
But here's Holo getting the big payoff.
Hacking was in that store. Okay.
Yep, hacking is in that store, but Racka had to choose. Holo, on the other hand, is going to be able to pick up hacking and the pike beam. And
pre-igniter.
If you're feeling spicy.
Dude, for this, it's the play, man.
Oh, I agree 100%. I don't think you say no to that pre-igniter.
Awesome. I need hacking and the pre-igniter. So same routes, but way different builds going on here.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. They've just made pretty different decisions. Racka buying that MC at the earlier store, opting for a little bit more reliability in getting shots in on ships. And we see that difference in where they're at right now, right? Racka's almost a sector ahead here, but now Holo's going to get the payoff of that pre-igniter and pike beam, and we're going to see Holo start. I believe the term is zoom in. Going so freaking fast. So Kix, let's talk a bit about multiple endings. What do the multiple endings of Multiverse look like without spoiling too much? Is there routing differences, or do you have like optional like fights you can take that'll end a run early? What's the deal with multiple endings here?
Yeah, I can't get too hard into it because spoilers. But there's like a pacifist kind of ending where you can force the rebels into surrender. But the main one is there's like a true ending, like a final climax. which right now you kind of have to luck into it. It's nothing like the Crystal Quest. You just find one event, and that spirals into a series of like really hard bosses. But we have plans for another ending that's going to involve fleet diving. The fleet diving is going to get harder and harder, and that's going to lead you somewhere. And then the main one that's in right now is also going to be reworked so that there's no luck involved, but it's really obscure. But the way to find it is to do the fleet diving ending, which is going to give you clues. So there's a bit of meta progression there.
Cool. Racka looking like... Oh, there's another
Got a pre-igniter too? Oh,
yeah.
man. Wow. All right. He's in a Zoltan controlled.
Yeah, Zoltan Homeworld.
Homeworld.
Yeah. Did not look happy about it either.
What a change of events here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Holo went into the Rebel Sector 3 as well.
Got it.
But he's in this Pulsar, and it's kind of looking spooky. Oh, he's got 2 NGs to repair. I guess they both do, but...
Certainly makes it slightly less spooky to be in that Pulsar.
Yeah.
Yeah, this run has taken a turn. Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yep.
Finding the pre-igniter for Racka in Zoltan land here is actually huge because his weapons are not very good getting through Zoltan shields otherwise.
Yep. But once you have that pre-igniter, all of a sudden it's like, well, now it's just a normal ship without a shield.
Right.
Yeah, Racka's fuel situation slightly concerning. Also, no hacking yet. I think once Racka gets the hack, free automated reloader. Yes, please.
Did you rig the seed again?
If I could rig the seeds, I would have rigged my seed. Thank you very much.
Too soon? Sorry, dude.
Yeah, no, just Racka's got to get that hacking, get the fuel under control, and we're going to have quite a game on our hands. I wonder if we're going to start seeing him use any of the retreat style play of taking more aggressive dives here with that pre-igniter available.
We definitely could. The thing about retreat's play style is that just doesn't come about. Right. Like retreat plays the way that he does because he practiced it, chased the 8K on every ship, and now it's just like, I'm sure he's mad if he scores 6,500 in any given run.
For both our players, though, the big spooky part, I think, well, a little bit better for Holo with hacking, but neither of them has that many projectiles yet. And
it's true.
For Racka, those 3 shields are scary.
I think Holo's going to be coming up to the store with the burst laser in it here soon, though. And he's still got the breach to sell.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think this is the store.
Yeah. See? Yep, there's the burst 1. Yep, instant snap up, easy peasy. Get it online as soon as possible.
I'd sell the breach to do it too, especially with the pre-igniter.
Yep.
It's too strong, man.
Yep.
You know, you can throw an engine's hack out and then just delay firing your lasers by just a second. You hack engine so you get, 2 damage through 2 shields and then your pike beam swipe. That's very strong.
Yep, they're cruising. There go the missiles.
Holo's his missiles, yep.
Yep. So Holo's definitely done gotten some good returns out of selling missiles. Always a fun event to see when you have a plethora of them available.
And no missile weapon.
Yep. I will take that 45 free scrap. Thank you very much. There's the hacking. And some fuel.
Yeah, so Racka getting ahead early is gonna amount to so much now because he found his own pre-igniter. I think, when Holo got his pre-igniter, we were like, oh yeah, Holo's gonna catch up, but now it's gonna be really, really hard for Holo to catch up because he's at the end of Sector 3, and Racka's got to be towards the end of Sector 4 too.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Sector ahead.
Yeah. What a wild,
I ship-
wild game so far.
Yeah, it has been. So Kix, I understand there is a new OST for Multiverse. You wanna talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we have two composers. One of them's an artist, one of them's a dedicated composer, and then we have two other people who make music for us occasionally. But it's all custom made for Multiverse. A lot of mods just kind of find tracks on YouTube, but we actually produce the music. It's all up on YouTube. It's pretty easy to find. But we try to give each like faction its own track, which we're still working on, but it helps build the experience.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like a lot of work is going into the whole thing to, it's like it's FTL, but it's its own game entirely. Which I think a lot of the other mods want to do but don't really achieve. So I think that's really cool to me.
Yeah, a lot of people compare Multiverse to FTL 2, but I don't know if I'd quite make that. I don't know if I'm bold enough to make that comparison
It's a
myself. But
yeah. Ooh, Holo just got a free halberd and he looked at it for a little bit because it's cute. I like it.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna once again change the balance of this run a little bit, and the free overcharger too. Ooh, if Racka knew what had been missed up there.
I was just gonna say the Holo took one different jump, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Oh, the difference it has made.
Yep.
Yeah, the halberd online immediately. Let's go. I would be nervous about making music for FTL mods. Like the soundtrack for FTL is so iconic for so many people that
it's so good.
Yeah,
I would go so far to say that FTL's soundtrack is basically flawless.
It's
it's really good.
Really good.
It's really, really good. I think the only an automated reloader coming in for Holo over there.
Picked it up too.
Eric, the only thing you could claim about the FTL soundtrack might be that some of the music sounds pretty similar to other parts of the music, but even
I
that,
think there's a charm to that as well.
Mm-hmm. It's thematic, perhaps.
Yeah. All of Ben Prunty's work is pretty good, so.
Yeah. So we got Holo coming into a store here. This point, I guess Holo's looking for what? Repair and then buy a cloak and an MC and then go as fast as possible to the end.
Yep. Another halberd maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Complete as one shot.
Yep. Just for the fun of it all.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, I wonder how much impact the halberd over the pike is gonna have in Holo catching up here, because there will be ships that he can one shot with a halberd.
Well, it works a lot better with the pre-igniter.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true. But we heard Racka yesterday in interview time saying that pike beam is actually his favorite beam. If I'm not misremembering that interview, I think Racka was saying it's one of his favorites. Holo, meanwhile, was saying he doesn't like the pike beam at all. So kind of an interesting situation here.
Racka has a very different perspective on a lot of different things, and they're all valid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like a lot of us tend to sway to one side of how we look at stuff just from experience and, you know, being a part of the community. But I don't know, like him talk, I'm pretty sure he has Slug A in like his top 7 or 5 ships on his tier list.
Interesting.
And I don't think a lot of people have that.
Mm-hmm.
There's other stuff that it is interesting. It's cool to see him talk about it too. So
yeah, as we've been hearing from Rand, different play styles all sort of coming together and different perspectives. It's been great to get all these different voices talking about the game and their feelings on it. Yeah. All right, so Kix, let's talk about Crew Lab. What's the deal with the Crew Lab in Multiverse?
So this is actually a relatively new feature. Just at the storage checks, like I mentioned earlier, you can upgrade crew. So each crew has like 3 main upgrades, and you can only have one. but some of them like offset weaknesses. Some of them like specialize them towards a certain thing. Like there's one that makes your Zoltan do double his amount of power, but they lose half of their health. So it's much riskier unless you have a clone bay, but you can get so much more power out of them. There's stuff like that.
Is there any way to make humans useful?
Humans actually have a lot of blue options in multiverse in general, but there's one that's just straight up upgrades humans. There's a lot of the subtypes for crew. So like crew have different variants. So there's like a human medic who can like he works like kind of like a heal bomb, but as a crew. So you can just like heal your own crew in fights. There's like soldiers who are just straight up better humans and stuff like that.
And all that being said, I'm still so biased against humans that I can't imagine ever loving them. At least for anything other than putting in the vent.
It's where they belong.
Yeah. I mean,
the crew lab sounds super exciting. That's really interesting. I like all the different trade-offs you're putting in the game. I think that makes for a really interesting dynamic where you have to choose, yeah, sure, you can make this more powerful, but it costs you this. I've always been a big fan of dynamics like that, where it's gain power, but at what cost?
yeah, Vanilla doesn't
like,
have a lot of those. Repair arm, I guess technically hack's done because you can't board, but I don't think I'd call either of those good augments either. So
Yeah, the problem with both of those is that they're objectively bad. So
Racka, or not Racka, Holo upped his zoom ability here, and he's at 8 weapon power already.
Oh my. Just going
Which,
for
hey,
it.
man, pre-igniter 2 beams in this format is so strong. It is so crazy strong.
And to come back to a point I was making yesterday, you don't need defenses if the ship dies immediately.
It's very true.
Right. Just
Racka
kill
kind
the
of
ship.
struggling with a dive here, but he's getting out, it looks like.
Yeah, and I could have bailed, but wanted to get that extra score from taking the kill. Okay.
And I think that's a fair thing to do. And I mean, sometimes you don't want to kill the dive ship just because you don't want to be there any longer than you need to be, but I don't know. That's part of like how for retreat, like he doesn't farm elites, but he won't shy away from taking 3 or 4 dives in a sector. And he's killing every single one of those dive ships too. And where you don't get scrap, you still get the bonus for the ship kill, so it still impacts the score pretty heavily. So
Yep, the ship kills are a pretty big deal towards final score. I mean, each of them, I think, ship kills on hard are what, like 60 score per dive ship or 90 score? It's somewhere in that range. I was looking at that calculation yesterday.
I think per ship kill before like the difficulty multiplier, I want to say it's like 30 or something like that. But then you get points for going to the beacon and stuff too. So
yeah.
I forget exactly how it breaks down.
I think if it's a new beacon, you get like 60 or 90. So, but I don't remember exactly. Ugh, those beams on Holos just swiping and cutting. I love the appearance of 2 beams just slicing through the ship. It feels so sci-fi to me. Just shredding them.
beams are just
So
so
the ship that
satisfying
Holo-
in general.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say something that's not super known. That Mantis bomber ship that Holo was just fighting with a halberd, you can actually get a 5-room swipe. I think it's the big empty room underneath piloting up into like four rooms that way, and then there's a side room you can hit. So there's a 5-room swipe there, which Mike Hopley showed me recently. So that's not anything that like I knew. I just kind of found out.
Yeah, I remember seeing that screenshot from you. The conversation I believe we had was, how did neither of us know about this? How would I not
Oh
seen
yeah,
this?
I forgot about that. Right,
It
so
somehow,
obvious once you see it.
yeah, once you've been shown it, you're like, oh, that doesn't look
Duh.
like it should have been so hard to see, and yet,
Here we are.
yeah. So Racka down to 10 life, 10 hull, but still trucking along. Weaker offense, but is still getting pretty fast kills on all these ships. So this is going to be okay. Alrighty then. Well, The
Racka throwing
wildness
his arms up
continues.
too. Yeah. This is crazy. This is
What
the
a-
second glaive beam today.
Oh, and there's a baby flag. I
There's
won't
gonna
sing
get
the
another-
song. You're welcome, chat.
Thank you.
But now you're thinking about it, and it's in your brain anyways.
We all thank you.
It is.
Got him. So one more thing I wanted to bring up about Multiverse that I don't think we've covered yet was the drone rework.
Yeah, so in vanilla, I think a lot of people skip drones, which I think it's a big part of the game that's kind of ignored. So one thing I've done is most of the drones in vanilla are just gone. They've just been removed. And in their place, we've added toggle and amp drones. So toggle drones, for instance, like you have your guardian drone, which is a defense drone and an anti-drone. So before combat, you can pick which mode you want it to be. So that way, like, you don't have to like buy an anti-drone and then it's just useless half of fights. Now it has dual purpose. So you can pick. It's more viable basically. And then like the combat drone can switch between laser and beam mode, so you can pick whichever one fits your build better. There's a lot of new crew drones as well. All crew drones are controllable. They're no longer automatic. They have more health in general. Boarding drones are less power. There's a crew like the manager who mans your systems at max skill level. He uses no power, so he can just run autonomously, and he provides one power to the system he's in. So it's kind of like a mini Zoltan, basically.
Interesting. Yeah,
Racka's getting torn apart here as we're talking.
yeah, he's given the scared face, and I would be too. That's not
spooky.
the hull you want to see. But 3 shields up, glaive beam ready to go, pre-ignited glaive beam. Needs to find a little bit of power, maybe get that pike beam online to guarantee 1 hits, and should be okay, I think, but it's scary.
I agree. Holo is not in a good spot here either. He's got a fire in his engines. He's in a dive. He had borders in the engines too. This is not looking too good here.
But handled it, got the fight down, but gonna take probably another ASB before he's able to get out of there. With all
Yeah, I
those
hope
fires.
the ASB doesn't snipe his engines either.
Yeah, that would
lose
be
some crew.
that
He's
would
looking
be
at it.
unfortunate.
Yeah, he was checking it out.
Yeah, how much
You
can
gotta
I
keep
take
Angie
here?
in there.
Yeah. All right. Holo's gonna get out of this jump.
All right, good.
Just entering into Rebel here, so still about a sector behind Racka. But Racka needs to not die.
I'm not sure if Racka found a store in Rebel sector or in the sector either.
I'm not positive, but I don't think so.
Well, maybe you can find it again. Or I don't know.
Maybe early on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I'm not sure either. I guess we'll find out here. I think there's only 1 or 2 jumps he hasn't seen above him.
There's that glaive beam coming through. Pike beam is online now, so the 1 hits are now real.
Couldn't tell if that was a quest or store. Oh, it's a quest. Okay.
Yeah, it's quest. But continuing to just take those jumps, staying confident that the 1 hits are gonna come in, and
oh man, I wonder if Holo's gonna find that glaive too, because then you can go halberd, glaive, dual laser.
And has the weapon power for it already.
Right, and that's a 1-shot without cheeky swipes too. Just your dual lasers have to land.
Yeah. But with so much damage going in on the piloting, it's an almost guarantee that you're gonna land those.
Sure, that's fair.
Okay. Oh, that hack is scary. Okay, hit oxygen for Racka. That hack goes into weapons. You're terrified, I think, at that point on 5 hull.
Yeah.
He's out of fuel as well.
Hermes. Oh, I didn't catch that. Good catch. He is out of fuel. Well, the good thing is he can win fights quick.
Not out of fuel anymore. 3. Easy peasy. Just get more fuel, forehead. Oh, Racka celebrating the store catch here. All right. There's a burst laser
burst
too in this store. What is this run?
And a flak. What? What's
Ugh.
going on, man? I don't know if you get both though, but Holo
Yeah,
just got a weapons hack in an asteroid field against 2 missiles here.
Scary, scary, scary stuff.
And he's on 8 hole.
Yeah. It's this format, you know, you're going fast and all of a sudden things can spiral out of control.
Mm-hmm.
There's the glaive. There's the glaive for Holo. So a double glaive run for.
And he already has 8. Sorry,
Yeah.
dude. Go ahead.
This is funny. We've got 2 players with pre-igniters and glaives. I haven't seen any runs with a pre-ignited glaive so far, and here we see 2 of them. The dream.
Right. And what I was saying is Halberd. Yeah, Halberd already has 8 hollows. No, Holo already has 8 weapon power.
Mm-hmm.
So he can jump straight. When he's out of the asteroid field, he can jump straight into the glaive pike dual laser, which hey maybe is enough to catch up, but who knows? But
I'm hearing from the voice in the sky to talk about the Sven maneuver. Less relevant in this case because of the pre-igniter, right? Or actually,
well, you need
yeah, more relevant because of pre-igniter.
for Holo, he doesn't need it because he's got all his weapon power, but technically, not Holo. Racka could let his weapons power up before he jumps, and then you jump and you pause. Oh no, I skipped a step. Before he jumps, after the weapons are fully charged, you depower the pike beam and put the dual laser online. Pause as you get into the next jump. Pike beam keeps its charge, but it does drop. But since you're jumping, the dual laser gets the pre-igniter. So you fire the dual laser right away and you change to the pike beam, and then you can go pike beam glaive. But since you only have the dual lasers as your shield popping ability there, oh baby,
That's
I'll
the
probably pick
cloak.
that up. Yeah.
Ooh, yum, yum, yum.
Cloak and a halberd or a whole beam there, so he's got a 1 shot now too.
I don't know
Man,
how
this
people
drone is
even
just
figure out
crazy.
stuff like the Sven mover.
I don't know how he figured it out, but I can kind of guess that it was a chance thing, right? He's looking at it and he switched weapons at the end of a fight, and then all of a sudden he saw the charge drop, and it was like, can I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Masala with his biobeam swipes kind of came across that same thing. Like he noticed that the a beam drone, I think it was, did damage to his crew but didn't damage the system, so then he looked into it.
I mean, I could speak from the testing perspective, having done some of that in my day. The Sven maneuver is sort of what is classically an edge case that you test in most studios for, right as you're doing a transition between something, what actions can I take and what effect does that have as we go into the transition? That's one form of that sort of testing. So actually, as far as the Sven maneuver is concerned, I'm not really surprised that was found. That does bring me to a question for you, though, Kix. What sorts of testing do you do on your mod? How do you sort of play test around it? Do you have a team that does it? What's your take on how to test changes, fixes, that sort of thing?
We do have a playtesting team. It's just people from the community on our Discord server that I handpick. But we haven't really used them except for very big releases. Like we had one that completely changed the flagship. I wanted to make sure it was actually playable, wasn't just going to annihilate everyone. Recently, I've started playtesting new updates for all of them because I'm kind of getting tired of having to do hot fixes for small annoying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The mod updates so fast that usually bugs haven't been too much of an issue because they just get patched out in the next week. So
got it. Also, just pointing out that Racka had a burst laser 2 and a heavy laser, I think, in that store. These stores are ridiculous.
Sita's broken.
How many moons? Nope, that is not the number of moons.
Jabata.
The ultimate test for the speedrunner. How fast were you clicking through? Oof.
Yeah, I just read every single enter a slug nebula.
Yeah, if you there's 2 dialogue boxes before that event, or before the picking the numbers. So if you click through an event and you see another screen pop up and it's not giving you an option to do anything, that's how you know it's the moons. Also, Holo is not looking very good here. He's got his hacking hacked, and he's
Yeah.
got Hermes staring him down. But I
Oh,
think, oh man, that might have, if that hit, that might have ended the run there.
Yeah.
Although he did have the dual lasers ready to fire. Whew.
Getting a report that apparently Necro pointed out that the background of the beacon is also a giveaway.
Well, it's a nebula,
Holo's
though,
good
right?
enough. In the slot, or for the moon event, yeah.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to see the background.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I ever caught that.
Yeah, that is too detail oriented for me. Also, Holo finding the repairs there. So there's
Another glaive.
beam. Do it.
Do
Come
it.
on, Holo.
Do it, Holo. Come on,
it.
man. You got
Do
it.
it.
Holo.
There's
Come on.
no
you can,
choice.
You can hear
No.
us.
No,
Well,
Holo,
you can't
do
hear
it.
us, but come on. Do it. No,
he's
Holo.
not doing it. All right.
No.
That's fair.
We tried, dude. We tried.
There was no angel on that shoulder, only devils. Do it. Show us your strength. Do it. Oh, man. That would have been fun. But I understand the decision, right? You've got more than enough damage here. That would have been just for the memes. But
That's
double
the
glaive
best
is pretty fun.
motivation.
I agree 100%. You're not going to hear arguments from these casters on that statement. Do you got any meme events inside of Multiverse?
Multiverse is just a big meme in general. Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, I was already pretty sold, but that is the biggest selling point right there. I'm now 100% sold.
That was the right answer, Kicks.
One of the most infamous ones is you meet Pirate King, who's a drone, and his name is A5540L3. And if you write that out, I think you'll know what it spells. So, a lot of the like the furry one-eyed tree lizard things, or the six-legged ponies, the giant alien spiders, those are all actually crew you can get now. And they have quest lines and secrets and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. That is cool.
I like that. I've always wondered about those the 8-legged or 6-legged ponies staring off into nothing.
There's a guy on the dev team. He just draws them. I didn't ask for the ponies or the lizards. He just made them one day, so we put them in.
So when do we get livestock trading as a part of Multiverse, where I can pick up the cows and ferry them over somewhere and sell them for that sweet
Will come
scrap?
someday. It's on the horizon, perhaps.
Holo dive into the flagship here, I'm pretty sure. He's just about to fight the boss.
Oh, he sped up a lot, huh? Or are you talking about Racka? Because Racka, I know, is right about
Racka,
the boss.
yeah, no. Yeah, I was talking Racka.
Okay, yeah, because Holo, I think, is approaching there, but I'm not sure is into Sector 8 yet, I don't think. Well, that's a nebula,
the runs
so...
have been so similar. I don't know if Holo is going to be able to make up like the time difference on because I think the scores are going to be really similar is what I was getting at.
Yeah, I think Holo got a couple extra crew kills in Sector 1 at least. So that's going to be some value, but is it going to be enough? I think the scores are going to be really close. That's what I think.
I agree. Racka's got a shield hack here against the flagship.
That's a bit scary, but oof.
I think he'll be all right.
Yeah. We've got
the hacking hack sucks though.
Yeah, that's rude.
Hacking being down, I mean, sorry.
Mm-hmm. We've got a poll in here. We've got Holo being favored to win here by the poll, FTL in second, and then Racka in third.
That's a lot of faith in FTL when they got pre-igniters and glaive.
I think these probably came in earlier on, and I'm going to be honest, if you have to bet on anybody, betting on FTL is usually not a bad bet.
That is true.
Phase one down for Racka.
Yep. Racka's cruising here. Handled it. Got 20 hull left. Ton of crew, so the boarding phase 3 shouldn't be too bad. But Racka's still pushing. This is, again, the no knowledge of where your opponent's at. It looks like Racka's assuming that Holo's, like, done. You know, so having to push and going ahead and taking a second to pause there and make sure the one-shot's lined up. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I was doing that too, but that's just because I'm rusty.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see how phase 3 goes. Almost immediately through the Zoltan shield, of course. Holo's just cruising in behind.
So here you let the hull beam. No, you swipe with the hull beam, and then you hack shields, and it's ready again by that time, which Racka did do, so it's good.
Hack's coming
Only got a
in.
level 2 cloak in because his borders beat down cloaking a level. The surge is coming though, so he did luck out there.
Yeah, that was really nice.
It's GG.
Yep, that should be it. Just line up the swipes correctly. There it is. Racka finishing up right at 55 minutes.
What a run.
What a crazy run. Great time there. One thing I am noticing, it looks to me like Holo's ship is a little bit more developed, so seeming like Holo may have found some more scrap or potentially just paid less in repairs. So I think that's going to be the big question. Was Holo able to maintain hull a little bit better, or was it actually more scrap?
Right. I do still think that Holo needs to finish like really quickly here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, us sitting here watching, I don't know if I would wait to fight the flagship here. I would just go for it.
Yeah.
Was that 57?
Yeah. 5782.
I can see
coming
that
in.
first. Pretty good. 55 minute 5700. Well, almost 5800. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's you got to be pretty happy with that result. At least I would be.
Yeah, one thing I was trying to shoot for is like 55 minute 5500 point run, and it's basically 100 or 200 tournament score. And then you get the point differential in there too, but that's just kind of a good rule of thumb. So Racka's gonna have a score that's a little bit over 200 here.
Yeah, and I think 200 was for me absolutely the benchmark. So Kix, as we're coming towards the end of this run, any thoughts or feelings about the tournament at large you want to share with us?
Ooh.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And anything we didn't cover about multiverse that you want to sort of give us more information about, or Excellent. So there's the one hit for Holo coming in.
Wait for your cloak. Don't do it. Wait for your cloak to end. Okay, good.
That would have been sad.
Yeah, it happened to me on the battery in my run, which is not huge, but when you're waiting, the cooldown doesn't change between jumps. So it's kind of interesting there.
Racka showing off the names there, the top 5 faves. The fun AF2. S tier question mark.
Fave.
Yeah. Clearly a big proponent of this slug ship here. I respect it.
Same. It's good. I also believe it's underrated. I just don't think it's top 5. That's all.
No, probably
Slug
not.
C's probably up there.
Oh yeah, Slug C is definitely top ship. It's so good.
Yep, one of the best in the game for sure. No doubt about that.
GG.
Holo
58
hustled.
minutes for Holo.
Yeah, so 3-minute difference.
Like, I want the scores to be the exact same.
Yeah, they're all
Not,
there.
I mean the tournament score, not the FTL score. Tournament score.
I think they're neck and neck. I think Holo got a little more scrap, but I'll be really interested to see.
This was an incredibly close run,
It was
especially
a lot of
compared to the
fun,
other
too.
ones.
Agreed.
Ooh.
They took the same sector routes throughout the entire run, which I don't think has happened yet. They got so many of the same events too. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't really paying attention to how the sector forced them to jump, but just like having, they both got the free glaive, they had the pike beam, they got pre-igniters at different times. Like, this run was just nuts.
Yeah. Clearly they're following a very similar mentality towards this this format and the sector choice. The only thing that I can really point out as a disappointment about this run was that Holo said no to the second glaive beam, and
Agreed.
it hurt me in my soul. But I understand and respect the decision. But wow, my soul.
Mad at him.
Hopefully we can get Holo to click through to a score here, so we can get our look here.
Yep.
Voice in the sky. If you have a way to prompt Holo for that, we very much appreciate it. Kix, where can we find Multiverse? Should we want to go grab it?
Multiverse has a Discord server, which is where updates are released first. Then they're also put on the subset forums, which is where most mods are. It's on Nexus Mods and ModDB, but it tends to be extremely outdated because I just always forget to update those.
Mhm.
So if you want to make sure you have the latest, I would always check the Discord server, the link is on the subset forum page for it.
Got it. Excellent. And what if, do you have any space available for anybody who might want to help? Perhaps testers or other people who might want to contribute to the code base? Do you have openings for more support on that, or are you just keeping it to the team you have right now?
I'm always open to help from the community, though this mod, it's not really a community mod. It's done much more closed doors. So yeah, I don't really, a lot of mods use stuff from the community, but I'm trying to just have us use what we produce. But help, especially in bug reports and suggestions, really helps because it helps, polish it better. And yeah.
Excellent. Is there an in-game way to send that stuff over to you, or do you prefer something like Twitter? What's the best way for that feedback to arrive to you?
There's a bug reports channel and a suggestions channel on the Discord. You can also post them on the subset forums if you have an account. I check that somewhat frequently, so.
Yes, Cass, please do go ahead and undeafen Holo, and we'll let him know to click through to the score. Let me know when you're ready for us to move forward. Oh, all right.
Wow.
So hard to know some of the time.
Wow. It
That's
just crushed it, man.
Yeah, that's a big score right there. Big score right there. I don't know that the 3 minutes time differential is going to make up for it.
No.
Yeah, it couldn't.
Not at all.
But those were two incredible runs from both
Awesome.
of these players. Racka, I think, just absolutely crushed it in a high stress situation. So big congratulations to both of them. I think at this point we will be saying goodbye to Kix as we move into getting our scores put together for tournament score, and then we'll be back to reveal tournament scores and talk with the players. But some good runs there. Let's see if our voice in the sky is still with us here. See if Kix is still with us.
There's a little bit happening here.
Yeah. But yeah, incredible runs there, and great selling on Multiverse there from Kix. I don't know about you, Far, but I've generally stayed away from modded FTL, but I'm pretty sold on going and giving it a try. One thing I will bring up that we did miss from some of the questions I wanted to ask, there's more story involved, which as somebody who likes to do
there's a lot higher narrative element.
Oh, you are still with us. I thought you had been muted based off of a chat message I saw, but since you're with us while we're
muted in the stream, apparently.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Got it. Well, hopefully you're back.
Just for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Let's hear a little bit more about the story elements. Get some of that in real quick while the Eye in the Sky continues doing behind the scenes work. Yes, we can hear
Yeah,
Kix.
we can hear him.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, a lot of the story is built upon Vanilla. It's like a sequel to Vanilla. So there's the multiverse element where there's this whole like precursor race involved, and they had like multiverse travel, and the rebels discovered this, reverse engineered it, and now the Federation's doing the same, and it's kind of launched this whole like unending war across different realities. There's a lot of like races, like the crystals are no longer trapped in their sector; they're free now, which caused like inner turmoil with the Rockmen. So there's now like an uprising against their dictators, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah.
Excellent. I got one follow-up question, though. This is one of the most important questions that could be asked about FTL. In Multiverse, are we the baddies?
You are. It's very, very gray. I don't know about in vanilla, but in multiverse, both sides are taking part in a war where they just invade other realities and try and sway the events to make their side the victor. So it's very
That's
gray.
kind of cool.
Nice.
I am
Every-
also. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Basically, every faction's morally gray. They all have issues. So
Sounds like real life.
yeah.
Anyway, I am apparently supposed to ask you about Jerry.
Oh, Jerry is like just a eureka moment. It's the epitome. I don't know the word. It's
Epitome?
the epitome of anything good about multiverse. He's the nephew of the rebel admiral, and he is just he's the perfect human being. He is flawless in all ways.
I
I
didn't know
can't
you
really
put
say
Gabo
much.
in the game.
Yeah. He's a kind of a spoiler, so I can't say too much about him, but
Sure. Well, we do
All
gotta
right.
get moving along here. Yep.
So, Kix, thank you again for taking the time to go over this run with us and to talk about Multiverse. I'm excited about it. Definitely going to give it a check out here. And yeah, hopefully we'll talk more and be seeing more from you in the future here.
yeah, hopefully so. Pleasure to be here.
Excellent. And so we're going to go to a quick break here. We're going to get our tournament scores together, and then we'll be back with the interviews of the players. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more FTL content very, very shortly.
All right, we are back to wrap up that awesome run by Holo and Racka. Again, I just want to say that was so much fun to watch. That was a crazy, crazy run. But
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better run to have cast there. Both of you with pre-ignited glaive beams, just crushing ships.
it's awesome.
So let's start with Racka here. What are your thoughts on the run? How are you feeling about it?
Honestly, not as great. It was a good run and all, but I feel like a lot of stuff could have been faster. But yeah, it was pretty good overall. I was surprised by the score at the end. I thought it'd be a lot lower. But yeah, pretty good.
Good. Holo, what are your thoughts?
I kind of regret trying to bio-kill the ships with medbay in the early game. Like, you can do it pretty easily, but it takes a lot of time, especially if you have to keep track of... Because enemy crew don't go to the medbay as long as one system is damaged, unless they take too much damage. But keeping track of everything and the fact that the weapons were still kind of dangerous, I think it was a mistake.
Yeah, we saw Racka having some struggles as well.
Those first like few fights were so frustrating.
Yeah. But you got through them.
And at least you were relatively safe in that fight too. But
yeah, it was just inconvenient.
Couple scary moments for both of you too, where your hull dropped a bit low.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting a store in that rebel stronghold was pretty bad.
Yeah, I agree. I was at like
both of you guys
hole.
were. Yeah, I was gonna say both of you guys were at 4 and 5 hole at the same spot in the run.
Yeah.
All right. I think we should get some tournament scores revealed here.
Well, let's do it.
So
I think I know who's gonna win, but
well, we shall see.
All right.
Mr. Voice in the Sky, can you reveal us one tournament score, please? Go ahead and give us Racka's tournament score first, please. There you go.
782. Nope, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, 220.77 on the tournament rating, and then 5782 on the FTL score. How do you feel about that?
That's better than I thought it would be, honestly. Feels similar to what I had last run. So yeah, pretty good. I'm happy with that.
Seems strong to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Holo's tournament score up there next.
248.29.
Nice. That's a killer score.
That is. Holo, how many did you catch how many ships you had defeated?
Actually no. 56. I think the early pre-igniter made a difference then.
Yeah, I had 49.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's where the big difference was.
Yeah.
What like was I said, score? You guys 66, 67.
Yeah, sounds about
in
right.
58 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
One too much.
You guys took so similar routes too. It's actually kind of crazy to see like the score discrepancy just because the runs were so similar. You guys got so many of the same events, so many of the same weapons.
Yeah.
You even
it was wild.
You even dove most of the same jumps, right? Like it was really neck and neck the whole time.
Yeah.
It's true.
So other than the med bays early on, what do you think, Racka? Where could you have maybe eked out a few more points? Is there a routing difference you'd change or anything like that?
I don't know. I feel like I should have maybe farmed a little bit more in Sector 8. That might have been nice. Let's see. I'm trying to think. There was like a fair amount of things I could have just done faster. I feel like some of the fights, like I did not swipe beams properly and I had to wait like multiple volleys. So yeah.
Got it.
Oh yeah. I'm overall pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it was a nice seed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, I just saw too that 248.29 by Holo is the highest score in the tournament so far.
Nice.
And we actually have our first semifinal match lined up. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Holo versus Retreat, which is
That's gonna be fun.
That one is gonna be
it's going to be a
scary.
fun match.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
just do this again, Holo. Easy game.
Yeah,
Just win, Forehead.
just get
Yes.
every igniter set you too.
Exactly.
Yep, 5 more tournament score than Necros from yesterday, which was 243. So
Nice.
got a new high score in the tournament, but Racka, that's extremely respectable score you put up there. So
Yeah. I hope I put up a good fight. You know.
well played to both of you. Holo, any final words you want to give us before we move on to our next break?
Thank you guys for hosting the tournament and casting, obviously.
Racka, any final words from you?
I will say that Holo and Burrito have had the most influence over how I play, so big thank you to you guys. And thank you to everyone who hosted the tournament. You can tell how much like love and effort was put into it. So yeah, I had a great time.
Glad to hear it. And I've got to parrot those comments and say big thanks to Kasalian, Freddie, Rand, and all the people behind it. Thank you for letting Farb and I jump on here for another guest appearance. We got a humdinger of a game in this one to cast, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be here. Farb, any final words before we hand it back off?
We will see you tomorrow.
We will, in fact, be back tomorrow for one of the semifinal games, I believe, and I am very much looking forward to it. Coming up next, we've got during the break, we're going to have Eldritch Horrors for a video to keep you entertained while we get the next match put together, and we will be handing it back over to Rand and Freddie Z. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with us while we talk about and watch some FTL. I will be watching from the sidelines and chat for the rest of the day, and look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow.
GG, Holo.